Good evening. Welcome to our Thursday, April 13, 2017 edition of the Government News Brief. In the news this evening, Mental Health Unit to identify potential suicide cases with new screening tool, GWI's first commercial office commissioned in the hinterland, and Natural Resources Minister confident of amicable solution to Marudi Mounting dispute. These and other stories when the news returns. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. I am Renetta LaFleur. Here are the details. The Ministry of Public Health's Mental Health Unit will be taking another step towards tackling suicide through a screening tool to identify self-harm potential suicide cases. Delicia Haynes has the details.
The screening tool is a questionnaire that will be filled out by patients in various regions. Through this questionnaire, it would be able to determine whether persons are susceptible to committing self-harm, which can eventually lead to suicide.
We have developed the tool for detecting those persons who are indulging in self-harm, and we will be piloting it soon. We'll be piloting it in 3 hospitals: West Demerara Regional Hospital, Saudi Hospital, and New Amsterdam Hospital. And the aim is not only to get statistics or to get data. The aim is really, the most important aim is really to treat, right? Because when we find these persons, we're going to make sure that they get the treatment that they need.
The Ministry of Public Health will also use this tool as a method for gathering data within the specific regions where suicide rates are the highest. Additionally, persons taking the questionnaire will be subjected to treatment if and when identified as being prone to suicide.
For every one suicide, there has been about 20 attempts at least, right? So people practice a lot before they actually get the courage to commit the final act. So it means that if we can have good control over the persons who are indulging in self-harm, not only will we improve greatly the quality of life, but we will also make significant impact on the suicide rate.
Meanwhile, outreach services and satellite clinics will be rolled out in various hinterland regions, targeting those cases that are mostly unattended and unable to seek treatment on the coast. For the Government News Brief, Delicia Haynes.
The Guyana Water Incorporated has opened its first commercial office in the hinterland region. Details from Gabriela Patram.
Residents of Latham and surrounding communities will now have access to better quality of service from the Guyana Water Incorporated, GWI. The water company commissioned its commercial office in the town on April 12th, the first of its kind in the hinterland region. The new office will now cater for commercial customer and will serve as a location for queries, rectification, and payments. It is also equipped with a mini laboratory. Minister within the Ministry of Communities, Dawn Hastings-Williams, explains.
Guyana Water Inc. is currently in the process of registering Latham's domestic customers, and it is aiming in the nearby future to expand its services throughout the region. You heard from the Managing Director himself that for the first time we have also established a mini lab, whereby you can now, the field officers can go out to the various locations, like schools, health centers, collect samples, and they will return here to test those samples to ensure that we deliver safe, potable water throughout the region.
Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Allicock says that the project is timely as it allowed the residents to have access to adequate and purified water.
To have an office or a space to administer the business of water in any community is very, very useful, or very, what I should say, critical for the survival or planning of any community. Today, I would like to say to you, while it took some time to come here, it is not because of not wanting to come, but it was the research that had to be done, the consultation.
Meanwhile, the water company's Chief Executive Officer, Richard Van West Charles, says that the project is in keeping with the water company's mission of ensuring all citizens benefit from quality water service.
Our mission is about service to the people. We have a responsibility to serve all citizens. That's the mission of GWI across the country. And hence we have to take that seriously, and we have to be able to communicate with all citizens. We have to be able to hear from all citizens in terms of the systems that we have functioning, in terms of identifying the need for other systems across the country.
This new project also created jobs for about 11 youths within the Letham area, including an engineer. They also benefited from training. This will eliminate having to bring technical officers to Letham when there is a breakdown with the water system. For the Government News Brief, Gabriela Patram.
Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman says he is confident of an amicable resolution to the Marudi Mountain dispute as the ministry and signatories move forward. Tiffany Rodius reports.
Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman was in Letham on Wednesday and heard more complaints from persons who work the Marudi Mountain. Complaints were raised by shop owners over lack of amenities such as water and toilet facilities at the new area. Minister Trotman gave assurances that these issues will be addressed.
There should be basic amenities and facilities there. So we don't expect that you will go there and there's no potable or drinking water.
The ongoing dispute between miners from the South Rupununi and Canadian company Romanex Guyana over who should mine the Marudi Mountain is finally making headway, as an agreement has been reached for shop owners to move later this month.
All the sides in this process in Marudi Mountain accept that something has to change. It's just a matter of how. So I'm confident that we will have a resolution, and I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Minister Trotman also committed to finding mining lands in the Marudi area. However, the minister cautions that it first has to be determined that the land does not encroach on Indigenous communities' extension for land titling requests. For the Government News Brief, Tiffany Rogers.
There will be more probation officers in Region 2 as the Ministry of Social Protection heightens efforts to tackle social ills plaguing the region. Details in this report.
Domestic violence and disputes and child welfare issues are highly prevalent in Region 2. The region's senior probation officer, Carol Beresford, says despite a small staff, efforts are underway to better handle these issues.
They're training new probation officers, so we have to recruit them, train them, and then they send them out to the various regions. So we're looking at, I know next month we're supposed to be getting one, and maybe next 3 months we're supposed to be getting about 2 more. But that is what they're working on presently.
The senior probation officer explains that while the department awaits additional staff, the current probation officers are working diligently to curb some of the child welfare issues.
We find that we have a lot of parents coming in with children who are drinking in school and smoking. When school reopens, we plan on going to the school because we know it's very challenging and it's very expensive to have parents bring the children to the department for counseling. So we plan on asking the teachers for a little space at the school, and we will be working with those children.
Region 2 is also affected by suicide. Beresford says efforts are in place to discourage these incidents.
One of the things that the probation department is aiming to do is do some more sensitization programs in order to let persons know that committing suicide is not the end of the world. And also we plan on having a hotline. So in case you have an issue and you want to commit suicide, you can call somebody and talk with them. So that is what we're aiming for presently.
Beresford emphasizes that her small team of probation officers will continue to work to eliminate the social ills in the region, with government offering its full support. For the Government News Brief, Tiffany Rogers.
The Ministry of Natural Resources engages a well-known geologist to aid in building capacity of the staff of the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission. Zanil Williams has the details.
On April 11th and 12th, Dr. Richard Goldfarb engaged with officers of the GGMC's Geological Services Division to assist Guyana's technical officers in the adoption of improved practices which will be geared towards affordability for small and medium-scale miners. Today, Dr. Goldfarb made a number of technical presentations at a workshop. It has been found that over the years, the lack of uptake of mineral exploration and the low recovery rates have resulted in forest loss. Dr. Goldfarb talks about the growing demand for gold in the world and deposit types.
World's demand keeps going up. Presently, global demand is 4,300 tons of gold. We're only producing about 3,000 tons of gold a year in the world. So we need to keep producing, finding more gold to meet the world's demand. That's why industry is so interested in exploring for gold. And as countries such as, especially the Asian countries, such as China and India, are becoming more wealthy, the demand for gold increases, because especially in those economies, hard currency traditionally isn't as important. A lot of people like to have wealth with actual gold.
The research specialist geologist says that it is important to understand geology to better aid mining yields. Dr. Goldfarb, who has been in Guyana since April 10, has had a number of engagements. The government has earmarked $2 billion for the mapping of Guyana's mineral, which the GGMC has already undertaken. Last December, a $40 million 3-month project mapping the minerals in Itabali Region 7 area was completed. Zenil Williams reporting for the Government News Brief.
This has been another edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on GNews website. We encourage you to subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. You can also like and follow us on Facebook to be updated as the news unfolds. Do join us again next Tuesday for another edition of the Government News Brief. I am Renetta LaFleur. Have a great Easter.